Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you for taking the time out of your very busy Sunday night to join me. I really do appreciate that. Legit, I hadn't opened my mouth in a long time, and almost forgot how to talk. Anyway, the soft openings. I know it's all improv. I know that I'm a silly, silly man who has no, sort of credentials to do anything in life. I'm surprised that it just so happens that I'm even able to do these things. Oh my god, I was about to go on a rant, towards myself, but instead I'll refrain and I'll also try to speak properly tonight. I've been noticing that lately there have been a lot of breaks and different things. So again, I've also said this too because now we're going on 1 year of this channel being around, and in that year, I have said before that there are different times, where I'll use just it's happening now as it's happened in the past. They're all different types of phrases and words that we have gone through. And anyway, these are the little things in life. Tonight, I want to talk about third places, third spaces. Honestly, I'm not sure which one it is. They think they're one and the same, right? A third place or a third space. Is a place the same as a space? Should we spend the next few minutes talking about whether or not that, like, I don't even. Anyways, the third place or your third space. This is somewhere that isn't home or work or school. You feel me? And so, that's what that is. That's the third area of life that you occupy a space in, quite literally sometimes. Anyways, I think about things way too much sometimes, so I'm just gonna stop. But link in the description below. There's a really cool video. Talks about this third place slash space phenomenon, and it's kind of under attack, right? So I'm an old head, basically. I'm an old guy. I'm coming to terms with this every single day of my life, and it doesn't get any easier. Let me tell you. But anyways, I'm an old head, and I know that, back in the day, there were a bunch of third places forward slash spaces. It was not just school or your crib, right? You could go kick it at the park, you could go, chill at, the restaurant down the street that just barely allows for children to go to that place of service just after school lets out, because after all, money is green. And whether or not it comes from the annoying 14-year-olds or the angry middle-aged and old people, it really doesn't matter. But anyways, and I say this because this is a robust opinion. Ask somebody my age, maybe your parents, maybe your friends, maybe your children. I don't know, hit all age demographics there. I'm just saying, ask them about what I speak of, and you'll be not far from the truth. But so third places, third spaces, parks, traditionally these kinds of areas where restaurants. And again, to be asked, there used to be, and there still is, a place called Allsup's here, right? And so most notably speaking, there used to be a place where the first time I ever put gas in any car that I had ever driven by myself with my friends, I can still remember the day like it was yesterday. Remember, I'm an old head, so we're driving around. There's an Allsup's right across the street from this middle school, as well as this place called the Blakes, right? And so again, I am from an area where before and after games we'd walk to the Wendy's, because that was in walking distance to our school. And then there was a place, and there still is a place called Stuffy's. I mean, again, these are the places that you go, and you're not obliged to be anything other than civil and cordial and not obnoxious. Obviously hard things to avoid when you're so young, but still you keep these things in mind. And I just feel like these are the times that we develop the most, right? Is when we're not, in the acting clothes or our avatar as it is within those specific parameters that define that space, right? Whether it is at home or at work, accordingly. You're not acting the way that you do at home as you might at one of those cool restaurants, hanging out with 80 of your best friends. Again, there's different levels to ourself, right? To ourselves. And I feel like a social component to that is being able to break away from where we typically are, where we spend the majority of our time. You're looking at somebody, you're watching a video from somebody who, I can do it both. I'm an introvert and an extrovert. I love the peace and sanctity of my own thoughts. I can count on my own thoughts to lead me to places that I feel comfortable, more or less. Anyways, I say that because, like, I like spending time by myself. I enjoy it thoroughly. It's not something that comes easy. And trust me, I've spent many sleepless, agonizing, literal bread, like pillow tear stained nights thinking about all of the different kinds of sacrifices that a person makes when they choose to go dolo in life, and in any of these things, right? So all I'm saying is that, like, there's just something really cool about third places. I mean, now you understand that if you go into a Starbucks, you can't just go in to use the Wi-Fi anymore. And that might sound like an old head opinion, but the point of the matter is that these are public spaces. They might be privately run, and on paper, sure, the Starbucks Corporation owns this piece of land. We're not going to get into the shady nature of real estate and where that land comes from and all of the different things and, all that, right? But still, when you're selling things to the public, you can't just negate the responsibilities you have to the public, and that bothers me. It should bother you that you can't go into Starbucks anymore and just chill. You feel me? Like, imagine that, study groups, therapy sessions, the potential scam, whatever it might be. These are all quintessentially American things that happen in Starbucks lobbies. Again, right? It's just something that's happened. Even if you're like, a Gen Z or an Alpha, I'm sure that a coffee house has been a place where you have congregated at some point, right? Even if it is to catch up with an old auntie or uncle that you haven't seen in a few years. That is no longer possible. Well, it is, but you have to pay for it. And again, I don't feel like public spaces should be like that, like a cafe is a public place. That's all that my argument says, is that it might be privately run, but I mean, like, the alternative is the government owns the shop and nobody gets anything. I mean, which is kind of already the case in blanketed kind of terms, but nonetheless, in this way, in this timeline, it almost seems as if people own stuff. So, if we safely assume that we can continue to allow people to think that they actually own stuff, I'm just saying, right, that, like, third places, / spaces, libraries, right? Libraries are under attack. There have been many documentaries, many people have given speeches about how every place basically where poor and normal middle class people hang out, those places are being taken away. And that's not really cool, because that leaves young people and anyone with half a functioning brain that wants to be around other people without any options. And that, again, is really scary. It's really scary because you're going to be either at home or at work, or you're going to have to pay for your third place / space, and again, like, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of people, like, coming together. That's like your local park setting up parking that they charge you for, and a person there to make sure that you pay an entry fee. Like, public places are public places. They are, I think, pretty important, and it sucks that they're all being taken away. And I truly feel like that. Like, again, it's not just, again, when libraries aren't around in 10 years, that's going to impact communities. I mean, moreover, it's going to impact the part of the community that is most vulnerable and marginalized, and that in and of itself should, raise some red flags. But I guess a lot of us spend our entire life sort of waving red flags, while the entire world is just sort of like, who would have known? And it's sort of like, well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that we all knew. We've all known, and I've been trying to tell you that this is going to happen for my entire life. So, it is what it is. We should all really seriously be very vested in saving our public libraries. We should be all really vested in not allowing private corporations to make arbitrary rules that deal with the public. Their only job is to sell stuff. They're not in politics. They have lobbyists. Sure, all of these things are true, but they don't dictate law. I mean, at least not in the form of fascism that I currently think this country's going in, right? I mean, that the other kind is just some straight, like, beyond Stalin level fascist kind of, corrupt thinking. But whatever, right? I mean, again, I'm a nobody. I have nothing. I'm just here talking to myself, because talking to yourself, for the record, is not a crime, like, okay, off the record here, breaking character. All right, so hey, I really appreciate you guys like watching my videos and stuff, and it's been real fun. We've got to know each other now for almost an entire year. That's basically longer than I've ever given anyone, including myself, an opportunity to know anyone other than myself. So yeah, it's been really fun. I look forward to making new content. I look forward to the future of this channel. I know that again, I'm looking forward to it, right? And I'm an old head. I'm an old man, and I mean, I still need things to look forward to, because after all, I am just like you. I mean, that's what it is. It's kind of like my core, and I just really appreciate all the new people that have been watching. Third places and spaces, it sucks, honestly, without trying to like type or, make my speech any type of way. Like, it sucks. There aren't a lot of places that young people can go hang out where they're safe and they're not charged to be there. And that is wrong. I think that's wrong. The people that are charging you, when they were growing up, they didn't have to pay for their third place / space. And, if their parents had to pay for them to be there, they wouldn't be there. He may not exist. Your mom may not have met your dad at that diner outside of a drive-in, in the early 80s. Because if those places didn't exist, again, like, those are the problems, right? Is that if we don't allow for there to be ample opportunity, and if we don't increase the likelihood of all different kinds of outcomes, then we're kind of stuck with singular outcomes. And I don't really feel like manipulation is any kind of thing that has to do with real free will or how people are supposed to be, which is pretty social. I mean, we're going through like a loneliness epidemic. Shout out to my Gen Zs and Alphas out there who have been brought into a world that has, and will continue to impact them in a negative way, so far as it concerns us as old people taking away safe third places / spaces from young people. I mean, we're leading them into a world where none of them will ever own homes. They will all be stuck in student loan debt, forever competing to get a higher degree so that they can compete for the same job that will pay less intrinsically and with empirical data as the future progresses. So as we compete, or as we teach our younger generations to compete for opportunities they will never have, it's like important to point out that as we do these very things, we're also simultaneously disrupting the core of what all makes us feel like we're people. And we're left with some amalgamation of trying to watch people online, and trying to talk to people at work, and trying to talk to people at school, again, places that we can't avoid going, which defeats the whole purpose of really meeting people that might be different than you, that might have a different opinion than, like the overall population, and you might not care, but you might hear somebody. Like, this is how life is learned, I mean, otherwise you might grow up like in some suburb where the only other tone of skin is white, and then you go out into the world and realize that there's just so many other tones of skin, right? But like, again, this is the problem with isolation. This is the problem with not wanting to again, we're literally we're doing all of this against our own interests. I'm telling y'all, like, it's not healthy. It's just not healthy. I mean, but what do I know? That's what I'm saying. What do I know? I know nothing, and that's not just trolling myself, right? It's like I literally, I don't have the experience to get paid more at work, at any job. It doesn't matter. I mean, I've had like 20 years experience being a dishwasher. You think that matters at all? It doesn't. It should though, right? But that's what I'm saying. The things that we're told should matter don't. And when we're trying to point out the fact that they should matter, we're only like made, like, led to be felt some different type of way, like it's my fault, like I'm like, okay, well, I mean, damn. Like, I guess there's no winning, and that's cool. It's all good. So I don't know. That's what's been going on with me. I hope that you guys have been well. I sound like something is stuck in my nose, and that's gross, right? Like, I mean, I don't like. I hate gross humor. It's stupid, like, or whatever. But like, I don't know. It's the position of my bed and where the room is, But like, I'm always having to like sing and do different vocal exercises to make sure that my throat, like when I talk for a long period of time, this doesn't happen. And that's weird because it also sounds like I'm an 11-year-old girl most of the time. And like, because my voice cracks and stuff, and not like in a natural way, it just happens. All right. I hope that you guys have a really good night. Thanks for watching. I'm really looking forward to the next few weeks, almost 1,000 videos. It's almost 420. It's almost me 1 year ago uploading my first video on this channel. And I think that was or for the rerun of this channel. I encourage you guys to watch all of those old videos. God, I'm old. Anyways, have a really good night. Thank you for watching my show. If you're not already a subscriber, smash the subscribe button. Make sure notifications are on. Hit the like button, or the dislike button. Again, I've said this before. Just engage with the content, because either way, you're helping me out. So if you're a hater and you're here watching for 18 minutes, again, like, more power. I respect you so much. Like, I don't do anything I don't want to do. I can't imagine, like, making yourself sit through something that you hate just so that you, like, people are weird. Anyways, have a really good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow, alright? My name's Albert. This is Vlogs About Nothing. Bye.